Alright, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. What caused this conversation or started this push from me is I've been talking about baskets, good and bad, for years. I've been talking about the tour creating standards for years, the tour then following the standards as they create for years. So today on the Discord Pro Tour, we have a private group with all of us tour card players. Today, once again, another post comes up of a very, very well-known player saying, hey, are we actually playing on these baskets for the Worlds? Obviously insinuating that they aren't up to standard or what that player would like the standard to be. So what caused me to start this conversation is that I think that I may have found a remedy, and I'm going to say that I really, really, really love the Innova 28 target, the basket we play on at USCGC. No target is perfect. Let's start there. Nothing is perfect. We're throwing a round thing at differing speeds, differing winds, different plastics into a metal thing that moves. So I'm not sitting here saying it needs to be like a basketball hoop, and if you make it, you make it. I do think that there's still such thing as speed control, and there's a such thing as hitting it in the right spot. But I do think if you do hit it in the right spot, that the chains should not just spit it out or let the disc get straight to the pole in order to ricochet out. So my suggestion for this fix, maybe I guess you could say, is a target I played on when I was in New Zealand. That basket is the Helix basket from RPM Discs. And it is a very, very, very well designed, very well thought out, and very good catching basket. Another thing is that the basket is actually designed to kind of look like nature. The target on the basket end, it's not just a cage that goes like this. It's actually like a wine-shaped catching device with like a nice little spiral around it. And it just looks very good in terms of being out in nature and being out on a course. It doesn't look as intrusive as possibly other baskets do, but I don't honestly care how it looks. They could spray paint it brown, and whatever basket catches the best is the basket that I want us top pros to play on. My main thing with this basket is the galvanized chains catch very good. They have these necklaces in the chains that allow the chains to move and react in a way that is conducive to catching, but it also doesn't have too much rigidity where it hits and just comes back out like you've seen with the Mach X, and it doesn't have as much of an issue as the Prodigy basket and when it comes to catching on the sides. So the sides are still very soft and very gentle, much like the Innova 28, but the necklaces that are in this basket, they go horizontal, are actually very forgiving, and they don't allow the chains to just split open for the basket. There's some, I'm calling it a necklace because it would probably be shaped, like this, the opposite of my hat brim per se, so it would go here, but it doesn't allow the chains to separate past this point. So what you see with players, Gannon or Ricky, players that putt really hard, is the chains will just move out of the way, and then all of a sudden you're hitting the pole, and before the chains can close back around the putter, it's coming back out of the basket. Especially Ricky, who putts so nose down that it's like almost coming back out, going up. So one thing that RPM basket does really, really well is it catches very solid in the middle, really forgiving on the sides, and it doesn't allow those chains to open up. I personally don't think enough players in the United States or enough top pros at all have played on these in order to have an opinion, but I do think that going forward, if the Disc Golf Pro Tour and RPM or whoever needed to work it out could work out a fair deal for that to possibly be the tour basket, I would love it. I think that the basket exemplifies great catching where it needs to, but also isn't a magnet. It's not. I don't want a target where as long as you just hit it, it stays in. That's also not the game. I'm not sitting here saying that I'm a player, thankfully, knock on wood. I've had very few spit outs in my career. And now I've had stretches or I've had rounds where it's felt like, I've been getting attacked by the basket. But overall, if I putt 1,000 putts, I'd say I have more really good catches with my putting style than I have dead center spit outs. But overall, we're trying to improve the game. We're trying to improve the sport. And I think that having a standardized target that we play on at every single event, again, is what we need to do. And I know it comes down to, so-and-so company sponsored this tournament, so we're going to use their basket. But I just don't think that if Little Tykes sponsored the NBA, they're going to allow them to go play on a plastic hoop. So there's some type of standard that we have to live up to when it comes to actually providing a target that is going to actually be welcomed by all, and the manufacturers don't feel slighted. They can put their logo on the top. They can do whatever, but at the end of the day, everyone knows it's a XYZ basket. And maybe that's the Disc Golf Pro Tour, creating that basket and collaborating with a company to create a pro version of an already existing basket, whether it's the Helix or the Innova 28 or whatever basket you guys might think is best. But I think at some point, we need to stop sending all of the top players in the world to play on a different target every single week. And again, when they are installed, we need to make sure that we're following the guidelines. Again, I've talked about this before. In order to get a disc golf basket PDG approved, it has to sit this far off the ground. It has to have these certain specs. And then, people put them into the ground and all of a sudden it's 4 inches too high or 3 inches too low or 2 feet too high, or very rarely do you see them be too low. But I just think as a professional sport, your local course, sure, put it on the ground, put it in a tree, whatever. But if Pro Tour, I think we need to create some type of common thing. And yeah, 1 or 2 elevated baskets, 1 for the differing in the hole, and then 2 for advertisement. Fine with that. But I think that overall we need to pick a basket and we need to pick a height that we can all agree on, or the Pro Tour can agree on, or the players want to see, whatever that might be. And I personally think that a very good candidate for that would be the RPM Helix basket. So thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for tuning in. I am going to start playing, hopefully in the next couple of days. It's still about 110 degrees outside every single day. And I'm feeling 99%, but my only goal is to be ready for USCGC, so I'm not really rushing it in terms of trying to get out there and start throwing full power yet. So hopefully in the next couple days, maybe by the end of the week, I'll be able to post a video of you guys throwing, playing around, messing around with Marcus, whatever it might be. But until then, thank you guys for joining. We'll see you in the next one.